Ahoy, folks! So, earlier today, Nintendo finally gave us details on a new update for Animal Crossing New Horizons later this week, with the promise of more content later this year, but not really saying anything about what that could be. So, we thought we'd come together for a discussion on what this could mean for the future of the game. As you all know by now, I'm Tris, and I'm joined by Mathew.
Hello.
And our special guest, Chuy. How are you both doing today?
Hello. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. Surprised to see Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I kind of expected it at this point just because, with the time traveling culture out there, we knew that the fireworks weren't quite in, and Sunday does mark the start of those, so we figured something would be coming.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense, actually. So basically, all of you in the know are actually, readily anticipating this week, then.
Yeah, 1st of August, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why did they take the fireworks out? So you can't time travel back to other fireworks, then?
Yeah, honestly, that's been the approach they've taken with all of the events that they've been updating into the game. They basically put them in for a certain amount of time, and then they take them right out. I think in the past, it did allow you to time travel back to an event, but
not to a future
you
one?
couldn't go forward to them. And now I think they're both missing these days.
Huh. Okay. That's
it's hard
really
to say how many.
actually.
It's hard to say how many months before. I think it's just the next update just removes it, something like that.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. That's actually very interesting. I didn't know they handled it exactly like that. Well, let's start with what we're set to get later this week, which is obviously the return of the fireworks, which is I believe every Saturday night of
Sunday.
August. Yeah, every Sunday night of August. You can add your little designs and launch those as fireworks. And then they also add in some items. All food items for some reason now.
Pretty much.
You got cotton candy, you got a little icicle or like an ice pop, and then you have bubble tea, which has been taking the world by storm in recent years.
Yeah. Also known as boba tea. Because of the
boba tea.
Tapioca balls.
I'm actually kind of excited for that. I've gotten into drinking that myself lately, so it's like, hey,
same here.
There we go. It's there for it's definitely there for everybody now. But I know that's not everything. I didn't detail it in our little news update, but the Japanese post actually went over some of the things that'll be available from the Nook shopping for each month, right?
Yeah. In August, from the 10th to the 16th, there will be the eggplant cow and the cucumber horse, which has appeared in New Leaf as well. And then September 12th to September 21st, you'll get the moon viewing dumpling. It's tsukimi dango. And then also the return of the moon rug. And then a Chinese tradition, which is the moon cake. And then I believe pronounced songpyeon, which is a rice cake for the Korean Thanksgiving Day. That's about it.
So that pushes out towards September then, or the end of September, I should say. So I imagine that means lining up with what you guys were saying earlier about the holidays. So there'll probably be the next big update, or in quotes, big update before Halloween season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and last year what we saw was, I think right at the end of September we got that update, and they added the pumpkins and a lot of the Halloween DIY furniture.
Yep. Yeah, to encourage people to get ready for Halloween the whole month, basically.
Which honestly, I feel that's how they should treat every holiday, where it's all of this stuff is given to us right at the beginning, and we can work our way up to it, but who knows, I'm not the developer there.
So what you're saying is you really liked the 2 weeks of Bunny Day at the start of the game.
You know what? I am not going to lie. I think the only downfall with Bunny Day to me is that the items are hideous. I think the event itself, not bad in concept. I think it's nice to have it kind of take over and give you something to work toward and do. But it's just the items don't give you that incentive at all. They're too ugly for me.
There's so many shoes too, and I'm like, why would anyone want to wear these? I think
it's kind of
giant
cool. It's a lot more than New Leaf, for sure.
That's true. There are a lot of items. It is a good variety, but they don't really look that good. Well, I guess this then begs the question, since we know this update is more like the update we're getting now is more or less a rerun update with a couple new items, and we know around when to expect the next one. But Nintendo themselves posted that essentially saying there's going to be more updates and content updates for the game. Please be patient. Have they said things like that after updates before? I don't think so.
No, I think this is a really momentous occasion for us, I'd say. I think they've gotten used to seeing every single Animal Crossing post be bombarded with comments about we want real updates and that sort of thing. And I think this Nintendo has been really different, I'd say, over the last year to me. They've been finally making comments on some things and clearing stuff up for people in ways they would have never done in the past. And
that's
to
good.
me that says, you guys are really bugging us on social media, so please stop.
Yeah. Well, the most recent post is a little more vague than the one that Doug Bowser gave after E3. Doug Bowser was more clear by saying new and fun activities, whereas this one is just more like more content. That could be anything, but I would still hang on to what Doug Bowser said with the new and fun activities, and DLC items do not match that description.
That's fair. I mean, although to be fair, the Mario crossover items, the warp pipes, can make for fun activities.
Yeah,
but if there were items like that, if there were special items like that, that'd be one thing. But
not food items that you just eat.
no, not the food items.
Yeah.
I will continue to sit here and wait for Zelda content now.
Agreed.
Patiently.
I would have bet money
Nintendo.
that would have happened.
I was willing to do the same. Like I was so confident we were going to see that after the Mario one, maybe announced at E3 or something. But at this point, I don't think we will. I almost feel like they would have shown it off by now if we were going to get like a blowout of Zelda content, which makes me cry inside a little bit because I really want those the Amiibo villagers back from New Leaf, and they teased that with the Sanrio ones coming back.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's still possible, especially if they have a larger update coming. They're just not ready for some of those things. They just kind of want to make sure that what the Fireworks Festival is coming like right now. We need to make sure that people know that this stuff is coming. But yeah, there's a lot they're not saying right now.
Yeah, and I think, for me, looking back at the updates we've gotten and some of the data mines that came out of that, I do think the team probably had a lot more planned out, but with COVID and the work culture in Japan, it's definitely held them back on what they've been able to accomplish.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people kind of say the team's moved on to Splatoon. It's definitely a lot more complicated than that. Nintendo has really huge development teams that can handle multiple games at once. Even back to the first Splatoon, they came out with both Splatoon and Happy Home Designer in that same year. So there is a big enough team to handle 2 games there, right? But with the situation that's happening, I'm sure they probably moved developers to different projects that they had to focus on and get released on time. And that's what we're seeing here, I think. We're seeing like a big delay on what they had planned. And maybe the stuff is still in the works. But I'd say my biggest suspicion is that Animal Crossing is currently the second best-selling game on Switch, and I get the feeling they want to monetize that and work on a paid update eventually.
We've seen it with Splatoon 2, we've seen it with Breath of the Wild, we've seen it with Age of Calamity. Yeah, it totally can happen.
Yeah, I can definitely see them doing something like that, which, sure, definitely might upset players, but kind of like what, working off what you were saying, Chuy, where they might have moved people around a lot, especially since we know so many games, basically since the pandemic, have had their release schedules moved around from like what people have said between like rumors and insiders talking, but also like just seeing when certain games came out and see very, very obviously probably was supposed to be earlier or later. Things have moved around, so that might be a similar case of developers have been moved around a bit because Animal Crossing is already out. It's already sold up to the second best selling. Okay, I had to interrupt for a moment there because someone was knocking at my door, and it turns out, I did not realize they were supposed to come today, the official Flick and CJ plushies from Animal Crossing in Japan arrives today. So now I have those. I'll make sure they're showing up on screen here because that's exciting. Yeah. And very, very fitting and relevant. Wish it didn't happen in the middle of recording this discussion because now I do not remember my train of thought. But
yeah, I hope the pop filter doesn't come and we start hearing noises. Yeah, my pop filter is coming in from Guitar Center, so...
That would be really funny, actually, if that also came in the middle of this.
Yep.
But basically, I guess they're now here to help me get in the Animal Crossing spirit. Unfortunately, I do not remember the thought I had before having to make a little edit point there. But I did come up with a thought while I was constantly getting up and opening these really quick, which is, what exactly do you guys think... Sorry, when exactly do you guys think we might get a proper update really showing off new content, like new, like amiibo new, like something special where it actually has like a little symbol and like actually new content that isn't just rerunning things from before, because it could be like as soon as the Halloween update, or it could literally be like just before New Year's as something to ring in next year.
I don't think it'll be that late. I don't think it'll be as late as New Year's Eve or anything like that. I do think it should be October, November period. If anyone remembers, a lot of people were expecting there to be harvest time for different vegetables and stuff like that. And all we got were pumpkins. So that's a possibility that we might see.
And that's true.
That's I think a couple podcasts ago on my show, Haken, I made that was my only wish. I want more crops, honestly, in the game. The pumpkins were one of my favorite additions to the game. And I want to see like little corn stalks, make cornfields and mazes and everything. I think
totally
that'd be adorable.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, just a good variety of crops. I'm a tree hugger for sure. So I'm big on greenery, and anything else that we can add as greenery to our world is just good by me.
You big on greenery when it's for the fall season when most things aren't growing?
I mean, I do really love the fall though. A lot of crops do show up around then, and just the colors. I love red as well. Reddery, you could say.
Reddery.
When can we grow corn in Animal Crossing?
It's a maze. A maze.
Yeah, there you go. You can have a nice corn maze on our island. Yeah. Well, that'd be fun, actually.
Yeah, that all said, for me, I tend to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to when things are coming out and happening. I mean, I already had my heart broken once by that Animal Crossing 2019 announcement, and it got pushed to 2020, and I was like, okay. So, but, I mean, that said, I do think fall makes sense. A lot of the big holidays start to happen around that time with the Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Toy Day events. I guess I should say Turkey Day for Thanksgiving. All of those events are a huge part of the game, and it's honestly my favorite time of year in Animal Crossing, just with all of those occurrences. So I'm hoping it happens around then, because I do think we're in need of a pretty major item update. I'm at the point where I've gotten every single DIY in the game, and I've seen the repeats of items in Nook's Cranny and everything, so I would love to see more items then.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think adding more items in general would be fantastic, like items that are missing that were in previous games, because I know people have always wanted more like that. I know over time they were also like adding in more villagers, so getting say for example, I already mentioned earlier, I would love to see some sort of Zelda celebration like we have at Mario,
Link,
where you get a bunch of time. Yeah, bring Wolf Link, Epona, Medley, like bring all of them back and have the new special items, and then maybe make some new ones. Like, we know they're not afraid to do that, making new items that have new purposes, like the war pipes, and then making new villagers. Like, we know they're not afraid to do that. And I mean, let's be real here. Even if they only brought back the ones that were already in, of the Zelda ones, and then I forget their names, but the two squirrels that were meant to represent Callie and Marie from Splatoon.
Yeah,
like
they took their
so
names,
good.
Callie and Marie.
Oh, they had the same names. Okay, I didn't remember if they shared the names or not. But yeah, no, like getting all of these back for like the cross promotional content. That was one of the big things of New Leaf, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Nintendo love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There were a lot of
Nintendo
items in total. A lot more than just Mario and Zelda. We got F-Zero. Yeah, shout out to F-Zero fans. And a lot more than that. Metroid Dread.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that we haven't seen Zelda things, that surprised me. I mean, now that we've heard Nintendo themselves say they don't have too much planned for the anniversary, that's kind of killed my hopes. But I feel like that's crossing over into killing my hopes for the Splatoon villagers and items coming back when Splatoon 3 comes out too. So
see, and that's like the best. That's the best way to do it too. Like tie it into new releases. Like you know, when Metroid Dread comes out, like the week it releases, like maybe the game comes out on a Friday, so maybe that Tuesday it'd be like, hey, to celebrate the launch of Metroid Dread, here's some new Metroid items you can find. And even if it's just 5 items, like having a bunch of them would be nice.
Yeah, and we had the whole Varia suit in the past too.
That's right.
Really cool to wear around.
Like little things like that would be fantastic as like little cross-promotional pieces for any of their upcoming titles. It doesn't even need to be super big outside of their main first-party ones. Like obviously you can rerun the Mario ones during any Mario one, or add more Mario ones.
Yeah, add more Mario
during
please.
any of the Mario. Like add more. Give people the Waluigi content they want when Mario Party comes out. I don't know.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like add Daisy for Mario Party. Like there's so much they could do here and there that might be like little things in the moments, but when you look back, it really fleshes out the amount of content.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does a lot to just keep this game going. And I say this game specifically because New Horizons is definitely design focused over some of kind of the other life sim aspects of past Animal Crossing games, and I think this one needs that type of content added in to keep that gameplay loop going.
Yeah, there's so much potential. It's an incredible amount of potential. We mentioned in a previous discussion about the potential of, like, say, adding caves or something. I know it probably won't happen with this game, but it'd be amazing to do that. Remember, Tris, we were talking about that, and
yeah.
We'll provide a link to that discussion as well in the description. But yeah, there's just so much we can do.
I'm still shocked we haven't seen Brewster and like the cafe yet.
Oh yeah,
that's such like an integral part, and I'm pretty sure people found like from like the first update to the game over a year ago, like there was like data strings or something like that related to Brewster that had been added in, which implied they were working on it potentially to come soon. But it's been over a year now. We haven't seen any signs of coffee yet.
Yeah, a lot of YouTubers are wanting Brewster to appear for sure.
Yeah, that's always a big ask. For me, I'm personally hoping for a Happy Home Designer-esque type of update, one where they bring back maybe Lottie and give us... basically, I want them to expand what we can do to the exteriors of our homes, the room dimensions.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, let us decorate for our villagers. Give them
that would be
some better
so
homes.
nice,
Yeah,
especially since
cool.
like your starting villagers they had the most basic of homes. But any ones that come after them actually get more stuff added that's like themed to them.
Yeah, and you
so
can
it
also
would be
get
really great
ceiling.
to let you do that.
You could also get ceiling items like chandeliers and ceiling
true.
fans and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Having a Happy Home Designer mode would be fantastic because it would really. I guess the best way to put it is it would really expand upon the new systems they added into there and really properly bring it into Animal Crossing instead of simply part of a spin-off.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think that really pushes it a lot because for me, Brewster, yes, definitely want and would be great, but it'd be pretty similar to what already exists in the game where we get a new building, we can place it, now we have a new place to visit. There will probably be some sort of mini game associated with it, but I don't know if that's the update that's going to bring people back to the game.
It might bring, like, fans of the series back for a bit, but I don't know if it would be enough to bring back new fans that got into it with this game.
Yeah. That could become an issue.
Yeah, I just don't see a lot of longevity with that type of update. Whereas, for me, the Happy Home Designer one feeds directly into the loop that they've built for New Horizons.
Absolutely. I mean, I had a friend that for the first year, every season, he completely redid his whole island, which was exhausting. But he like had a lot of fun like designing it and coming up with things. He had like spreadsheets and everything, like fill out exactly how he was going to do it. So he really got into the creative side, almost to like the level of The Sims,
Nice.
which I'm sure some other people honestly have too. Which like. Kudos to those of you that do that, because I would never have the patience to do that. I still don't know what to do with my island. I haven't done too much exciting with it. And it's been over a year now.
I have the same issue going on as well. It's the outside that I haven't done a whole lot with. But inside my home, I totally have done different things. I had a whole bamboo thing that I had for the longest time. Finally did a little bit of a Mario setup for the upstairs and stuff like that.
Nice.
But I've been mostly focused on like get all the new creatures, start filling up that catalog. It was just funny because as an artist, you'd think that I would just go straight for the outdoors, but not necessarily. I just figure I guess in the long time I could eventually get to that.
Yeah, I feel like Animal Crossing is more of a collecting and hoarding sim at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm right there with you. I'm all about the creatures. I'm hard at work trying to catch 3 of everything to make models.
I think I just finished them. I think I just finished them all.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
It was tricky.
I can imagine. Especially for how rare some of those are to find.
I think a couple of them I actually did some trading because like I'm not going to get 3 mahi. It's just that this is so insane. Like I don't have the time for this.
No.
Getting all that bait takes forever.
Well, it actually could just reset like as long as you do it within 3 minutes, something like that.
Oh, that's a trick.
Yeah, I've been using that trick since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? We said he would be very, very, very angry at you.
Yeah. And I wanted to say, I'm very jealous that your plushies came in. I've ordered them, but I'm in the process of moving at the moment. So I've sent them to a brother's place who's in another state that I'm moving to, so I won't see them for a while.
It'll be some time. Tag me on Twitter when you get them. I want to see them.
Oh, definitely.
That way we can complete the saga.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Chuy, you mentioned when we were talking about Brewster, you mentioned like a little thing of a mini game, and that kind of got me thinking of some ideas in general, not specifically for Brewster because I have no idea what you would do for a coffee mini game, but it had me thinking of more things to do on your island in general with the multiplayer feature, because it's great to have people come to your island, but if they don't add like new things to do with each other, it doesn't really push the multiplayer aspect much further than it's already gone. So I was thinking, we don't have Cap'n in the game yet. And there's still that dock that's on everyone's island that's just randomly there. And honestly, I want to see Cap'n come in with this boat like in New Leaf, and he'll bring you and others, or maybe you meet others there, to like this minigame island. Just like in New Leaf.
It's just taunting us. Just sitting there taunting us.
Basically.
Speaking of which, does anyone remember the update that somebody was doing some data mining or something like that, where part of the code was actually expanding one of the maps to double the size? Maybe that will play into something later on. We don't know what that means.
Was that not for when they added diving? Just because you could actually
No, this was after diving. This was definitely after diving. This is more recently. Okay. I think it was like past couple of months, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't look too closely into this one, but I'd say before the game came out in the weeks leading up to it, I thought it would be really cool to have the ability to expand your island eventually. One of the big goals in Animal Crossing has always been getting a house, paying it off, making it bigger as you go. And I was like, oh, if they enlarged that concept to the island itself, that would be a really cool way to expand that thought. So I don't know if it'll lead directly into that. Like I said, I didn't look too deep into this data mine, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
I think it was actually an expansion of one of the islands that you visit, not the main island. So it's possible we might visit an island that was much larger. So that might play into something interesting. If they continue with that, we don't know if they'll just backtrack or not.
Yeah, and I'll say it really surprised me to see that there weren't really some island mini games, kind of like we had in New Leaf, especially when I saw there was 8 players for this. I was like, oh, are we going to get like 4v4 mini games here? Is this going to get really intense in Animal Crossing?
I would love that. It was such a good multiplayer in New Leaf for that. Yeah. A bonk cornemer. Or the cornemer bot or whatever that was.
Yeah, but I don't know. At this point, I feel like maybe I dreamed too big. Maybe this isn't in the works, but who knows? We have no idea what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, truth be told, there's always obviously the chance that everything we've talked about could not end up happening. It'll be a little disappointing, but
yeah,
that's okay. I think what's exciting about the fact that we're even talking about this is the fact that there is going to be more of something for this game, and this game already had like a really good, I don't want to say lifespan to it, it makes it sound like it's over, but this game's had a good run so far. Look how well it sold, and look how much it really, like, people got engrossed into this and really, really into it, and it came out at the perfect time for everybody then.
Yeah, it has.
Now things are changing a bit. People are going out a bit more, so that's another reason why people are dropping off. So there's always going to be a level of people leaving the game because the time has come for them to. But I do think if they add in something big enough that will really appeal to a lot of people, we'll get a lot of activity back in it.
Right. It has to be a variety, not just like appeal to one group of people. It has to be a little bit more than that.
Yeah, and honestly, for me, I've been around this series for a really long time, and I see a lot of that drop off in past games where people enjoy it for 2-3 months or so, and I'm like, cool, yeah, I'm glad you had a good time with the game. And the amount of people who are like me and some others that I know who play daily for years, it's not as big a number, to be honest with you. Yeah. So I'd say this game has been in the conversation more literally because we do get updates here and there. Especially starting off some of the bigger ones that happened for spring, summer, and fall. Those really kept people going and playing and everything. So I'd say on average, this game probably had a higher retention rate than previous Animal Crossing games.
That's good.
Could be. But a lot of people did go back to New Leaf, so that is definitely something that's
true.
On.
Yeah. Which I think perfected what Animal Crossing previously was. To me, New Horizons is kind of jumping in a new direction, so I'm excited to see what the future of the series looks like from here.
Yeah, and the community is such a great community, at least from my experiences. I mean, I was involved ever since City Folk, Let's Go to the City, and at least with the community. I think I was going back as far as Wild World for the community itself, like Beltree forums and stuff like that, and now all the more recent things like Nukazan. And it's just it's such a good experience to meet different people, and we definitely want more opportunities like that to be able to play games with people, not just trade items and visit islands.
Yeah.
Could really build up on the social aspect. The social aspect with your animals or with your villagers. Although giving them more lines would be good to update that too. Just to give a little more socialization with your villagers.
Yeah,
sure, there's a level of socialization with your villagers, which is nice, but it's also a point of bringing in bringing in your friends and other guests to your island, showing it off. Do more with that.
Right. Like the variety of conversations, not necessarily longer conversations that where a balloon goes by all the way from the one end of the island to the next end of the island while you're trying to talk to one villager.
Oh boy. I hope something big and good is on the horizon for this game. The new horizon for this game.
Yes, New Horizons.
Well, do you guys have any last thoughts that we wanna let out for this? Any last hopes, predictions, etc.?
I guess it's tough. Like I said, I've seen a lot of this game. I've seen some of the things that we have basically data mined but haven't happened. So if some of those happen, I think I'd be happy. I know Brewster was in that data mine stuff, so I know I'd be happy with that. But overall, I'd say I'm one of those people who just constantly plays this game. So for me, there's not too much for me to complain about, but I do think at the beginning I had some big dreams for what could happen, so I'm wondering what is going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it, honestly. I'm hoping there'll be something that gets added that really helps me get back in the groove of it. Because I keep trying, and then I end up dropping off after like a few days because I just get busy. So I want something that'll really bring me back in and keep me actively going back to it.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I like to see too. People enjoying the game that they're coming to.
Well, I think that'll wrap up this Animal Crossing New Horizons discussion. So, Chuy, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you at?
Yeah, so I host Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. We're going on nearly 4 years about talking all things Animal Crossing. So if you're interested, check that out. I'm Chuy Plays on YouTube. I post a lot of Animal Crossing content, but I have some really cool new projects I'll be working on that I think Nintendo fans will really love. So if you're interested, feel free to visit. And I'm Chuy Plays NTDO on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm actually going to be co-hosting a new podcast on Flip Screen Games called Nintendo Noise. That'll debut in August, so you can find all their links at flipscreen.games.
Wow, that actually sounds really cool, to be honest. And we'll definitely be sure to include links to pretty much everywhere they can find you down below. But with that, thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to GameXplain for plenty more on games like Animal Crossing, and let us know what you want to see from future updates down below, especially if you liked any of the ideas we talked about here. Check out the videos on the right for more content you might be interested in. But until next time, farewell.
Ciao.
Bye.